All right, folks. So here's what we got. All right. We are going to be coming into 2024 guns a-blazing, but you have to be reaching out for new business daily. Okay. Working your sphere of influence, calling your previous clients, while good, it's finite. Okay. Do you guys know what I mean by finite? It means the number of people that you know as opposed to the number of people that you don't know. It's infinitely smaller. Okay. Even if you met new people every single day, that's great, but it's not going to get you nearly as far as reaching out to strangers. Now, folks, I know mama told us when we were babies, don't talk to strangers, but guess what? We're not babies anymore. And the person that is out there, the agents that is out there reaching out to strangers on a daily basis is going to wipe the floor with the one who isn't. You with me, guys? Okay. You have to be prospecting daily. So let me tell you three things about three things. And here's what I mean, right? When you're prospecting daily, okay, you don't need to be doing it. So many people get it wrong. They think that you just need to be like in a cubicle and you need to be like bored out of your mind and you need to be super low energy and it has to be no fun. Guys, you only need to do 60 to 90 minutes of it a day. Okay, guys, I want everyone to be honest. Okay, how many of you type a one in the chat? Go to the gym a few times a week for 60 to 90 minutes. Okay, one, two, three times. Maybe, in fact, type for those of you gym goers or those of you that exercise or work out. Type how many times a week you go into the gym. Type it in the chat. Do me a favor. I want to do a little social experiment here because I want to prove a point. Okay. Look at this 6 to 7, 3 to 4, 5 days a week. Love it, guys. Yeah. Get after it. Look at all these healthy people. Okay. All these people that are going to the gym 4 times a week for an hour. Love it, guys. All these people are going to have very, very healthy bodies, healthy minds too, because exercise is really good for your brain. Okay. Here's the thing, folks. Okay. Most of you just proved my point that you are doing exercise on your body and your brain for 60 to 90 minutes a day. Okay. Why would you ever neglect your business? Okay. 60 to 90 minutes of what is all you need to have a thriving business. 5 days a week. We're not talking 7, 60 to 90 minutes a day. So while many of you would never even think of not going to the gym for a week, I guarantee you've had times in your business where you didn't prospect for a week or 2 or 3. Okay, folks, I know it. I just know it. All right. I have, my students are really good about being honest. Right. And what they tell me is some days they don't make it. Some weeks they don't make it. The most important part is like everyone's going to fall off. It's how quick you get back on. Agreed. Okay. But just as you would never not go to the gym for a week, or you would never not eat for a week, or you would never not brush your teeth for a week. Why? Because all of those are bad for your health. You should never not prospect. Okay. Very, very important. Charlie Munger, RIP Charlie, Warren Buffett's partner, had a really great statement. He basically said like, one of their investing philosophies was surrounded around like never losing money. All right. And one of the ways they never lose money is like you never make the same mistake twice. So you can fall off once, but don't make the same mistake twice. You guys with me? Okay. So if you fall off one day a week, okay, fine. But you had better get back on because if you start taking 2 days off a week, next thing you know, you get a downward spiral going. Okay. So very important, guys. All it takes is 60 to 90 minutes a day of prospecting to get your business up and going and healthy, just like it. That's what it takes for your body. Imagine that. All right, folks. Next up, I want you to be intentional. Okay. You don't want to, what we lovingly call commit random acts of violence. I remember when I was a newbie broker, right? And like I would call people and have no idea why I was calling. And I wondered why I got hung up on. I just didn't know any better, guys. Okay, you need to be intentional. Before you pick up that phone, you had better be no, you better have a plan on why you're calling that person, which leads me to the next one is you better be intentional about your follow-up. Okay. 90% of this business is won on the follow-up. Guys, as a listing agent, okay, I took probably 90% of my listings on the follow-up, not on the first one, because I'll go out on a limb here and say most of the people that sign right then and there, I noticed an interesting trend. A lot of them didn't make to be good clients. Some were great, but some, they're not always the best clients. Why? Because if they make a split rash decision right there on the spot, Guess what? They probably didn't think it through. I'd rather have the person that sends it back and forth, the listing agreement a couple times. Hey, can you change this? Hey, can you change that? Because that means that they're serious. Okay. So that's why, like, those are the type of people that are going to be better clients, are the ones that are giving it a lot of consideration. So similarly, you had better give your prospecting some consideration. You better give your follow-up consideration. Guys, your follow-up should be part of your daily routine. Prospect follow-up, prospect follow-up, prospect follow-up. You guys with me? Okay. Because commercial is different than residential. In residential, everybody needs a roof over their head. Everybody needs to have a place to live. Okay. So there's almost an infinite amount of prospects. You could just go running down the street, throwing business cards at people, and sooner or later, you're going to get business. Am I saying it's that easy? No, obviously, but I'm speaking, I'm making a point. In commercial, the amount of people that, if this is the whole population, right? Everybody needs a house. Everyone needs a roof over the head, condo, apartment, whatever. But the amount of people that own commercial real estate and are looking to sell in the next 9, 6, 3 months, it's a sliver of the population. So you had better be very intentional about your follow-up. Make sense, guys? Type a 1 in the chat if you're with me. Type a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. That you got to be intentional about these things. You can't just like call someone up, magically think they're going to give you the appointment, magically think that they're going to give you the listing, and magically think that you're just going to sell it to the first person that walks through the door. Does it happen sometimes? Yeah. But would I bet my life on it? Absolutely not. You guys with me? Okay. Brandon's with me. Jose is with me. Ansar's with me. Love it, Nate. Cool. Okay. Next up, folks. So that's the first item. Prospect daily. I'm giving you guys actionable things. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but last week I gave you 5 actionable things. This week I'm giving you 3 actionable things and 3 elements of each to consider. Okay. 3 things about 3 things. Okay. Cool. The next thing is, folks, target the right person. Okay. Folks, type in the chat for those of you that have been following me all along, right? What are the 2 things that we have to sell as a broker or as an agent, whatever you want to call yourself? Right, or whatever your status happens to be. Type, what are the 2 things that we have to sell in this business? What do we got? Let's see. What do we got here? We have our time and our knowledge. Booyah. Linda and Katya. Yes, exactly. Both my students who listen very well. Exactly. We only have our time and our knowledge. So think about it, folks. If we only have our time and our knowledge, doesn't it make sense for us to maybe pre-qualify? It would be like the equivalent of throwing anyone who can fog up a mirror in your car to show them buildings, right? It doesn't make any sense. You have to qualify. So when I say you have to target the right person, right, it's very important to understand you can't just call the phone book looking for prospects, okay? You have to ask yourself first, why am I calling them? What's the reason for my call? Because if you don't have a reason for your call, how are you ever going to have an intent, or how are they ever going to know why you're calling? Okay. People don't want to chit chat with realtors. We have a really, really bad reputation. I'm not sure if you guys know this or not. They did a study of like trust levels of professions, right? And like right up at the top was like doctors and nurses and, priests and so forth, like religious, characters and stuff like. Down at the bottom of like space like 39, 40. Guys, take a guess who's the absolute worst in terms of reputation for their business, their industry. Who do you think what's the sleaziest job that people always like use as a butt of a joke? Put it in the chat. What do you think it is, guys? Car salespeople, exactly. Used car salespeople, right? It is what it is, guys. It just is what it is. It's just the stigma. There are probably a whole bunch of great people doing that. It's probably some slimy people doing it, but there's probably a whole bunch of great people doing that. Folks, real estate agents were 3 notches above used car salespeople. Okay. So I promise you, people don't want to consort with us without a reason. You with me? Okay. So make sure before you make the phone call, you understand, why am I calling? Because when they pick up the phone, you had better get to the point in 7 seconds or less. Think of it like the rodeo, guys. Like you got 7 seconds to prove yourself. Okay. Right. And we've planned it over and over again. Whenever we're doing any role play, right? We planned it over and over again. It's like 7.5 seconds, bang, before you hit your mark. Okay. Very, very important to understand, why are you calling? Finally, I want you, or next up, I want to say, what do I say? Okay. You better be delivering the right message to the right person at the right time. Just like, remember these guys? Remember these from high school, right? 24 to the right, 26 to the left, 13 to the right, bloop, pops open. Okay. It's no different. And you've seen me do this analogy over and over again. If you don't have the right message to the right person at the right time, okay, the lock's never going to open. It's like saying I have two of the three numbers on the combination, but not all three. Well, guess what, folks? The locks are never going to open. You're never going to get the listing. You're never going to get the business. If you're reaching out to the wrong person at the right time with the right message, not going to happen. Right person, wrong message, right time, still not going to happen. You got to have the right message to the right person at the right time. Okay. Very important to understand, folks. So you had better know what you're saying. Why are you calling? All right. What you say to that person is that is indeed the right message. Next up. Okay. What is the outcome? What are you trying to get out of this conversation? Because if you just call just a chit chat, some people might chit chat with you, and that's all well and good. But if you don't have a reason for calling, guys, if you're not there asking for the business, I promise you, folks, somebody else is. Okay. So you got to write this down, folks. Right person, right message, right time. Okay. By the way, guys, but before we move on at all, right? What's your biggest takeaway so far? Type it in the chat. What is your biggest takeaway so far? Because, folks, what I want you to do is take something you learned and implement it tomorrow. Okay. Being intentional at all times. Really good, Linda. Yes. Yes. Good stuff. Yep. Heck yeah. What else we got? What else? Come on. Is Linda the only one that wants to knock it out of the park this year? I think she might be. Who else? Who else? There we go. Being laser-like focused. Yes. Good stuff, Pietro. Love it. Prospecting and following up daily. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, you guys are starting to get it. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Next up, folks. All right. Take your time as seriously as your money. Okay, for those of you that know it, type your hourly rate in the chat. Go ahead and type it in. Okay. Let's see what you guys come up with. For those that you don't know it, and for those of you here that weren't here last week, okay, it is whatever you want to earn in 2024 and divide it by 2,000 work hours. That's 50 hours a week. 50 weeks of the year, 40 hours a week. Okay, boom. All right, love it. Nate's at 250. Katya's at 75. Linda's at 350. What else you got? Okay, Angel's at 200. Good, 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 good. Okay, folks. When I tell you, as agents, the only thing we have to sell is our time and our knowledge, you had better believe me, okay? Now, here's the thing. If you are doing things that aren't commensurate with your hourly rate, how do you expect to, in Brandon's case, earn $500 an hour if you're doing $15 an hour work, okay? Remember, guys, if you're doing a secretary's work, you are the secretary, okay? If you're doing an assistant's work, you are the assistant. If you don't, write this one down, guys. Get ready. This one's going to hit like a bunch of bricks, okay? If you don't have an assistant, you are an assistant, okay? Straight up, you're an assistant to yourself, but unless you guys are prospecting, presenting, following up the majority of your day, I promise you that you guys are not maximizing your earnings. And unless you have an assistant, you are an assistant. Okay. That one stings a little bit, guys, but you know what? The sooner you start leveraging your time and you take your time as seriously as your money, okay, the sooner you're going to start maximizing your earnings. Straight up. That's just the way it goes. Okay, guys? Cool. Now, next up, I want you to plan your day. Do not go in and like roll into the office at any old time and like hang out and like turn on the coffee pot and tell me if you guys type one in the chat. Okay. Cause I've been there before and I'm totally guilty, right? If you ever like rolled in, you turn on the coffee pot, you see what's on Sports Center. Maybe you start going through your emails. Type one in the chat if you've ever done this. Maybe start going through your emails. Maybe start like flipping through your, oh, my friend just sent me this cool, funny thing on Instagram. Maybe go through that, right? Okay, Katya's the only honest one here. I can tell you, here we go, Missy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, my friend sent me this cool little cute meme. Oh, I'm gonna just right, guys, right? Like. The reason why there's so few high producers in this, it's crazy. A friend of mine, shout out, you know who you are. He had a good year last year and he was ranked 16th in his company. Okay. And I said to him, I said, imagine if you doubled your performance, you'd be number one in the company. Why? Because the reality of the story is most people are not maximizing. Most people aren't even working 8 hours a day. In fact, I just read this study today. It was a commercial real estate. The National Association of Realtors did a commercial real estate agent study, and most people are barely working 40 hours. In fact, probably like the average was between like 35 and 40 hours, more people working about 35 hours. Okay. And I promise you, if they are admitting to working 35 hours a week, I'm willing to bet they're probably only working about 5 of those 7 hours that they claim 5 days a week. You with me, guys? If you guys are taking off half a day for golf on Friday, or if you're taking off for happy hour on Tuesday, or if you're taking off for, and if you are not working and sprinting through to the end of your day and then getting in that one extra call, that one extra follow-up, that one extra whatever, somebody else is. And that's the reason why you're not a one percenter yet. Okay, guys, I just want to give you the facts. All right. So make sure you plan your day. Be intentional about your calls. Be intentional about your day. Next up, know your worth, right? Your hourly rate. Okay. Right here, perfect example. Angel put in $200 an hour. Okay. You know what that means? That every 15 minutes of Angel's time is worth $50. Angel, you're probably a hardworking dude. You probably would never tear up a $50 bill. Am I right, sir? You would never in a million years. But many of us would waste 15 minutes talking to their friend, watching a YouTube video. You with me, guys? Right? Doing things that aren't moving the needle in your business. You have to be like adamant. You have to be almost like fanatical about what is going to move the needle, and I'm not doing anything else. Make sense, guys? Okay. Next up, folks. Know what your time is worth. Just like Angel knows what his time is worth, okay? And he knows he would never waste it. You have to not only know what it's worth, but be the guardian of your time. I promise you, no one is going to protect your time for you. Your friends, your spouse, your coworkers, other agents in the market, they will waste your time and not think twice. Guys, if you are guilty of not like qualifying a prospect before going out and touring buildings or showing them this or showing them that. If you're going for a listing, by all means, as long as they own the building, go, right? But if you are doing leasing work or buy work or working with anybody before you qualify them properly, you are taking your time in your hands. Like you take your life in your hands, you're taking your time in your hands, folks. Unless you control and you are the steward of your time, no one's going to do it for you. People will waste 40 hours a week and not think twice. And you'll say, you get to the end of the year, you're like, why didn't I earn the money that I wanted to? Because you weren't strict enough about your time. Plain and simple. Okay, cool. All right. So guys, I just want you to remember, okay, like we talked about last week, the number one takeaway I want you guys to do is to schedule your prospecting into your calendar. If you don't block off that time, you can mess up anything else in your business. But if you don't schedule your prospecting into your calendar, you will never make time for it. If you think you're going to wait for the time to be, it's like, have you guys ever like just magically found $100,000 in your bank account? Probably not going to happen, right? You have to save. You have to make a plan. So like you know how people say, "Oh, I'm just going to wait until XYZ day." Like if you wait for that time to magically show up in your calendar, no. There's two types of people in this world, folks. The one that make their lives, and the other ones that life just kind of happens to them. It's just like they're like a pinball bouncing off of every little bumper. Okay, and then there's the people that are like laser focused and just go and they create their own reality. I want you guys to be the latter of the two. I don't want you bouncing from here to here to here to here. I want you guys to have your schedule, have your intent, and know what you're doing and why you're doing it and for what reason. You with me, guys? Okay. What I want to do now, folks, is I want to explain to you folks, if you guys want help on any of this, if you want 2024 to be your best year ever, if you want to be able, okay, to go out and know how to take listings, know how to handle, like if you're coming from the residential side, folks, if you want to know how to handle commercial transactions, folks, you are just a couple skills away from being able to start making money. The average commercial deal is 4.5 times the size of the average residential deal nationwide. Okay, it's equivalent of selling 4.5, 5 houses, okay, for one commercial deal. I see Missy's nodding her head, right? That's what we're talking about, folks. It's very important to understand you learn this skill and you only have to learn it once. You have it the rest of your career, okay? So I'm going to put in the chat, folks, if you guys want 2024 to be your best year yet, if you guys want to be able to take the reins and get started and learn the skill finally that you've been thinking about for years, have been wanting to do for years, but you never kind of got around to it. What did I just say a minute ago, folks? If you aren't creating the time in your schedule to prospect, if you aren't learning the skills, creating the time to learn the skills that you know are going to benefit you, it's no secret that commercial is more lucrative on the whole than residential, okay? There's no secret that why only about 5% of agents know how to do it properly, okay? What are the other 95 doing? They're waiting for the day, okay? If you are interested in making 2024 your best year yet, go ahead and click on the link. Let's book a call. Let's have a conversation. I will say this though, please be considerate of the others. I have a finite amount of time in my schedule, just like everybody else has finite time. Do not book a call unless you plan on showing up. It's the fastest way to get blackballed from here, guys. Straight up, right? I got stood up by somebody today. They are out of the group, period, end of story. They will never be able to get a hold of our trainings, okay? So I want you to understand, please, please, please be considerate of others, because if you take away someone else's space, they won't be able to book. But book a call. If you want to make this year your best year yet, if you said to yourself a week ago today, this is going to be my year, new me, I'm going to get after it, I'm going to make more money than I ever did. If you don't change, nothing changes. Remember, nothing changes until you do. So if you keep doing the same thing as you did last year, you'll probably get the same result as you did last year. You need to put in different inputs to get different outputs. You guys with me on that? Okay. So guys, if you are a student, this link is not for you. You're already getting all the goodies. Okay. This is for people who haven't been into our inner circle yet. All right, folks. So click on that link so we can have a conversation and we can see what it is that you need to level up your business. Not everybody is ready, but we'll see kind of what it is that might make sense for you. Okay. And if you want to learn how to become a listing agent, you want to learn how to maybe just close a couple of deals, wherever you are in your world and what you're trying to accomplish, we can help you do that. All right, folks, I got to run. Thank you so much for being here. Do me a favor before we leave, okay? Do me a favor. Do yourselves a favor. I want you to type in the chat what you're going to implement from tonight. And then next week when we start our call, I'm going to ask you what you implemented, okay? This is what accountability is about, guys. So go ahead and type in the chat real quick what you're going to implement from tonight. What are you going to implement? What one individual step? What one new idea? What one new concept? Okay, schedule prospecting time into calendar. Yes, exactly, Nate. Good stuff. Intentionality. Yeah, guys, you got to know why you're calling people. Okay, tons of follow up into your calendar. Love it, love it, love it. Schedule prospecting time into your calendar. Yes, guys, huge. No one's going to do it for you. I promise. Yes, Tiffany, plan your day. Guys, plan your work, work your plan. What did Warren Buffett say? I'll take a fool with a plan over a genius with no plan. What does that tell you in terms of the importance of having a plan? And then imagine if you're pretty smart and pretty hardworking and you have a plan. Heck yeah. That's what's up, guys. All right. Thank you for being here. Implement something this week. Remember, 991. I want 9% information and 91% implementation. That's the only way we do it, guys. We need 10 times more implementation than information. Okay. You don't need to go out watching YouTube videos. If you just came and learn something new every week and just implement it into your business, you would absolutely learn. Your business would be in a different place 6 months from now. If you got involved in our coaching, you'd be 10 times further. That I can assure you. Okay, guys. So plan, get your business done, get everything implemented. I look forward to seeing you same time, same place next week. See you guys. Happy New Year to you. Bye-bye.